Hey everybody out there in the internet community, the YouTube community, the comic community, and for this special video, the Transformers community. And why? Because this is a special Transformers comic book review, namely the two series, Transformers More Than Meets the Eyes and Transformers Robots in Disguise. Named both after the main theme of the original Transformers cartoon / anime. Originally, I said I was not going to be getting these two issues. I'll give you a little background. I collected Chaos for a while, and Chaos was supposed to bring life back to Cybertron, and all the Transformers were going to leave Earth, go back to Cybertron, and there was going to be a huge story that was going to go on there. Then IDW announced that they were going to separate the Transformers series into two separate comic books. One adventure would follow Rodimus and Ultra Magnus, which is More Than Meets the Eye. The other one would follow Bumblebee, Prowl, and the others on Cybertron. I wasn't interested, to be honest, and I actually dropped the series right before the last issue and before the death of Optimus Prime, mainly because I wasn't about to go into two separate series for Transformers. So for a while I dropped it. The two issues were 2 months long, so I dropped it for a bit, and then I saw a review on, it was either Comic Vine or Newsarama, and after looking into it and noticing I had dropped a lot of mainstream books, I decided to give them a shot when I was ordering some old comic books. I saw the two of them, and for those of you who know me, you know I love the specialized covers, and the fact that they had the specialized cover for both books, I decided to give it a shot. And I wanted to see, I was just curious, because I tried to look it up on YouTube, and nobody buys Transformers, the comic books. Every time I would type in the title of this comic, I would get cartoons or anime or toys. I would not get the actual books. So, for those of you who are curious about these two books, sit down, you finally found the video you were looking for. Okay, let's start off with the book that came out first. By the way, I got a new background light to help illuminate Comic Corner a bit. Okay, Transformers More Than Meets the Eyes, #1. This is cover C. It's an interlocking cover. This is the Rodimus cover. There's an Ultra Magnus one, and I forgot who else is on the other cover. I wanted to get the E cover. There just wasn't any. It was basically sold out. So in this issue, Rodimus Prime is gathering Autobots together to leave Cybertron in search of the Knights. I want to say it right. It's all on the first page. I love it. It's all explained on the first page. He wants everybody to leave Cybertron. He says that 6 million years ago, right here, Nova Prime told the world that he'd built an Ark. And 4 million years ago to the day, Optimus Prime stood in that exact same spot and denied surrender to Megatron. So basically, he wants to go in search of the Knights of Cybertron. He found out that they're real, and he wants to take the ship, I forgot what they called it, the Lost something. That's what I'm looking for. The Lost Light. And he's going to pilot the ship, and he's asking all the Transformers if they're interested. He's encouraging them to join him. He says that basically him and Bumblebee are on the outs. Bumblebee says that it's every Transformer's duty to stay on Cybertron and serve their now alive again planet. And Rodimus is saying the exact opposite. So throughout this entire book, we're seeing main cast members leaving Cybertron and the conflict between the two going on there. We see Starscream, who is now claiming he was never a Decepticon. He just worked with Megatron, which was kind of stupid. Turns out another Autobot was torturing Decepticons. Just a lot was going on, and there was one Transformer, I don't know who it is, but he was buried underneath, I forget where, and it's this Transformer here, and actually, I think he was looking for the Ark, the original, the 6 million years ago Ark, and when he comes out of where he was, He actually says to Rodimus before he goes out that I need to get on the ship, and then he basically KOs. So after all this nice, wonderful backstory happens, we get to the part where there's the launch. Bumblebee wants to try to convince them one last time. They won't listen. They shoot off, but on Cybertron, it looks like the ship actually exploded. Whereas it didn't. It just, one of the exhausts exploded, and they were still teleported halfway across the galaxy. And it's, let's just say, it's going through, it's a very rough start. I love the way they ended it. In the end, in Prowl's quarters, there's like a message from the past, the future, coming to the past, and it's one of the people on the Lost Light, and he's like, if you're hearing this, obviously it's too late, the Lost Light left. I'm calling from the future, and tell Rodimus to abort the mission. If they left already, get this message to them. And he's like, and I know that these things are going to happen now, but we don't know what they mean yet. Don't the do's and don'ts, mostly don'ts. Don't open the coffin. Don't let them take skids. Don't go don't go to Delphi, and do not look in the basement. And for the sake of Cybertronian race itself, please don't. And then it cuts off. Wow, what a way to end the first issue. So this issue, in my opinion, has me officially hooked. I loved it. The way it was set up, the way the very last page sets you up for future stories or the future in this series, I'm hooked. I will be coming back. am coming back for issue 2. You'll be seeing issue 2 next week in my Dark Avengers comic book review. This series has got me hooked. So that's one. Next is Transformers Robots in Disguise, which takes place, right after More Than Meets the Eyes. As a matter of fact, it takes place, I believe, a day after. And it's all about Bumblebee being the leader now of the Transformers, the Cybertronian is what they're calling it, race. There's no more Autobots and Decepticons. They're all part of the same community, except the Decepticons have this ID chip in them, whereas if they get out of line, if they try to cause trouble, if they try to hurt anyone, Bumblebee has this little remote control and he could blow their heads off. Now the problem is, these nails, as they're called, are coming in. These are people that ran away from the Autobot-Decepticon war. They're coming in, and it's up to the Decepticons. This is their kind of job. They're supposed to keep the peace on Cybertron, and they don't do a really good job. And Prowl plays a huge part in this also. There's a part towards the end of this issue where Prowl is talking to somebody, we don't know who, and he's like, I realize nobody's on my side, so he could be an antagonist at some point. The Decepticons are planning something, so really there's no peace on Cybertron. And Cybertron, ever since the Matrix brought Cybertron back to life, the one thing the planet doesn't want on it are the Transformers, the Cybertronians. Actually, the planet is revolting. You see in the first page, as a matter of fact, it's stated right here, and I quote, "This is my world, my people fought a war the last 1,000,000 years, and in the process, we killed the planet. Now the war is over, my side won, and Cybertron is alive again, alive and angry. It's not the world we used to know. Cybertron doesn't want us here," and they actually show Cybertron attacking all the ships that are coming in with Cybertronians. So Cybertron basically just wants to be left alone. It's a very angry planet because basically the Transformers killed it. And then they went to Earth, and now the Autobots won, but it's too late. You know, it's like they killed... How would you feel if you were killed by somebody? I don't blame them. The one thing I don't like, though, is Bumblebee seems more like a dictator. It feels more like it's a dictatorship, like he's running everything, and he's running it very badly, if you really think about it. Everybody thinks he killed Rodimus and Ultra Magnus because nobody knows that the ship actually did jump. They think that the ship just blew up. So everybody thinks Bumblebee killed them for wanting to leave and talking against him. Bumblebee is controlling all the Decepticons. He wants the world to live. He wants Cybertron to live in peace and this and that. But it's all, he basically has society under his thumb. And he's like, if Optimus was here, he'd be able to do this and that and the other thing. I can't really live up to who he was. But it's not like that. You actually, I'm not saying I grew a anger towards Bumblebee, but I really don't like him too much either, because you kind of can tell he has no idea what he's doing. He was put into the leadership, and he really just does not. There's just nothing. I don't see any kind of. All I see is he's just making mistake after mistake, and then I mentioned the ID chips. Once again, it's just like the more that goes on what do you call it, on Cybertron, the worse Bumblebee looks. It, like, there's death, there's destruction, there's stuff going on, and it all is, you know, even though it's not really officially Bumblebee's fault, they blame it on Bumblebee and the others. So Bumblebee's not doing too hot at all, and you could see a lot setting up for the future. You could see that the Decepticons are planning something. You see Prowl has somebody whom we don't know who it is yet, but there's somebody that's talking with Prowl, so he could become a problem. And no offense, but Bumblebee's definitely not leader material. He has no idea what he's doing, and he's actually, I think in my opinion, he's causing more trouble than the antagonist in this book. And I don't really like Bumblebee. I don't know why. I always just didn't really care for the character. I've always swayed towards Rodimus, Ultra Magnus, and Optimus. Those were just my favorites, to name a few. There were a lot more, but Bumblebee just never stood out for me. I don't even hate him. I won't even say I hate him. I just don't find him, It's like, yeah, okay, there's Bumblebee. And the fact that he's running Cybertron doesn't really make this series any better, in my opinion. However, I did like a few of the approaches on this. By the way, this is the e-cover, like I tried to get for this book, but I couldn't. Whereas it has all the Transformers that are in this series here. To be honest, if I had to choose a side, I would be on Rodimus' side, because I like Rodimus. And to be honest, to live on Cybertron with Bumblebee, I just have a feeling everything's going to go wrong. And that's why I'm actually going to keep picking this series up as well, because this series has me interested to see where life on Cybertron is going to go from here. So, honestly, neither one of these disappointed. Both of these are officially on my pull list. I like both of them. I would highly recommend both of them. There are classic moments in here. Classic Autobots and Decepticons show up in both books. The stories are solid. This one a bit more than this, but I love them both. And like I said, I've dropped a lot of mainstream books, and a lot of mainstream books are being canceled very soon. So I decided I'll keep it. Both books are really good. I would highly recommend, guys, if you like Transformers at all, check out the first issues of both and make your own conclusion. To be honest, though, both of these books get a 5 out of 5 from me. Love both of them. I can't wait to read More Than Meets the Eye, which is coming out next week. And then I believe Robots in Disguise is coming out a week or two after that. So I'm looking forward to both books. You get your money's worth. I will say that. These books are hella thick. They are $3.99, unfortunately. I know you guys, we all are very pissed off about the $3.99 thing, but it's worth the money. IDW has never, none of the books IDW has produced yet have disappointed me. Even when I got pissed off that IDW was separating the one series into two, I'm fairly impressed by the way both of these series are going and what direction they're both going in. Granted, there are more G.I. Joe comics still out there, and I pray to God that they don't do the same for Transformers. 2 is enough. 1 was enough, but since you want to do... But then again, the 1, they kind of divided the Transformers comic. If you guys were reading Chaos, you know, they divided Chaos into 2 stories anyway. Basically every other issue. One issue was on Cybertron with Optimus, and then the other issue was on Earth with the others, so... To be honest, they were dividing the Transformer story from the original first Transformer story. They were just dividing it. They were selling it bi-weekly, and they were just continuing the numbers. So really, it was already divided, the Transformers series, if you really look at it. And I thought about it one night. I was like, you know, if you really think about it, Transformers was divided. They just continued the number along. but really there were two different stories going on. So finally, each story has its own unique book and color, red and blue. I hope they keep this for a while, the way they're doing the titles. I like the silvery, shiny kind of feel. I highly doubt they will, though. It's the first issue, so you know they're going to go all out for the covers on the first issues, and then they're just going to go right back to the regular cover, like the regular wording. But as I said, guys, both are worth at least checking out. Really good. If you're a Transformers fan, you will definitely be on this. I hope this review helped you guys out, and that's my review of More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise. Once again, guys, I would absolutely say check out both of them. IDW has not steered me wrong yet. Anything I've read from IDW, I've loved. Granted, I used to love G.I. Joe. There's just too much G.I. Joe out there, and I get way too many other books. So right now, this is really good, Transformers. TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I highly, highly have always recommended. And Lock and Key I highly recommend also. So if you're looking into IDW, look into this, look into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and look into Lock and Key. All these series are really, really awesome and really good. They stay true to their origin, they stay true to their characters, and they have really good stories. So check these two out. I hope this Transformers special review helped you guys out. I'll see you guys soon, either later on tonight or early tomorrow, for my official comic review for this week. And take care, everybody. See you soon. Take care.